you for listening to the Chase Merrill podcast.
Are you ready for your race? May 4th.
Yeah, it's coming up. This week was my longest run in my training cycle. And then next week I'm doing 19, and then 13, then 8, then my race.
You excited? What's the goal?
The goal, I think, is to tie my PR, so 3:18. Obviously, going under that would be cool, but I think a lot of it boils down to how you feel day of, and
How are you feeling now?
I feel good now. I feel like most of my training runs, I've been hitting the paces I'm supposed to be hitting. But then my long runs feel really hard. So I'm not sure if that's how it's supposed to be. But
this is like your ninth? How many marathons? I don't know. I just took a guess. I know it's not ninth.
Definitely not. No, this will be my 5th one.
Yeah.
But
so you should know how it feels.
Well, I feel like it's hard because I feel like this is the first time I've been really following a training program pretty consistently. I feel like for my last one I also followed it pretty consistently. But since I knew that I was going to be racing a really big net downhill race, I didn't take my pace training, I guess, as seriously. So I never did true threshold workouts. I would do interval workouts, and then I wouldn't ever try to hit certain paces on my long runs because I knew that running downhill would feel so much easier. And so with this race not being such a big I mean, it still has 1,000 feet downhill, but way less than all of the other ones I've done. I feel like I've been more consistent with making sure that I'm doing threshold workouts and trying to hit certain paces in my long runs. And so it's been good. I've definitely gotten a lot faster. But yeah, I feel like my long runs have felt really hard, which I think is fair because I'm also putting on a lot of miles during the week, so I don't have fresh legs. So I think race day will feel really different, but I'm excited and nervous. Don't know.
I'm excited for you. It'll be fun. It'll be fun to go up there. Fort Collins, mom and sister's coming out. It'll be fun.
Yeah, it'll be super fun. I am starting to regret not doing a race at sea level, actually.
Yeah? Why?
Yeah. I don't know. You get such I feel like training at elevation, you have such an advantage because you're used to lower oxygen. You usually have a little bit better aerobic capacity just from training at elevation that I feel like I'm not taking advantage of because I'm also racing at elevation. That if I went down to if I went down and raced at sea level, I think that the paces that I'm trying to hit would feel way easier. But
yeah, but it's what's nice about what you're doing right now, about running is there's no season, there's no competition outside of Boston, or whether you're trying to qualify for the Olympics, but there's always going to be another marathon. You could run one every week if you wanted to in a different place. So it's not there's no, I have to wait for the next year, the next season. You can kind of just do your own thing and plan accordingly. So there's an infinite amount of time for you to run and race and tweak and alter and change to figure out what you like. So there's no reason to rush and just go have fun at the one in Fort Collins.
Yeah, no, I'm excited for the one at Fort Collins. I've heard from a lot of people who have ran around Colorado that it's a super pretty route. It follows a canyon and river down. And so I think it'll be really pretty. And I think it'll be a lot of fun. But
yeah, it will be fun. I'm excited.
Yeah.
Did you think I would ever get into running?
Yes, but not right now. I feel like you've been floating around the idea of running a marathon for yeah, I remember early days when we were dating when you were like, oh, I want to run a marathon and I want to run sub 3 hours. it was like, well, it wasn't ever like a serious like conversation, but it was
Yeah.
like comments that were like thrown out that I was like, oh, I could see you like at one point getting into running, but I didn't
Yeah.
think it would be right now.
Why? What's right now?
Not like that there's anything significant about like right now, but I feel like you've been coming off of your hiatus. I don't
Yeah.
know what else to call
That's
it.
good. No.
But
My fitness hiatus.
yeah, and so like on one hand, like I'm surprised that you got into running because it's like almost like something new. Like I feel like for some people it's easier to just get right back into like what they're used to and familiar with. On the other hand, I think it's really good that you're getting into like running because it is something different. And so it's like instead of like all of like the associations that you have with like weightlifting and CrossFit that are like sport and competition, like with running, it's almost just like something for you. And so there's no like history of like, oh, I have to like meet these paces or like
Yeah.
this is like what I have to be doing. It's just like, oh, I'm just doing this for fun.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. And yeah, and it has been fun. Like today when I just went down, did 4 miles. I just went as hard as I wanted to versus like the other day I did 7 or something like that. So just kind of picking and choosing, trying to build a progressive overload, build kind of that base easy run speed up on the treadmill or on outside, which has been good. It's helped lose a ton of weight. We were what was like this 2.5 months ago. I thought our scale was broken because you got on it and you're like, whoa, I'm that heavy. And then I got on it and I'm like, I'm that heavy. Now yours was a medical reason. Mine was I was just getting fat. I stepped on the scale and it said 217. I was like, oh, for sure, broken, done. And then I've never weighed that much. And what was interesting is like I didn't feel like I weighed that much. Like my body, I didn't feel slower. I didn't feel like my clothes fit different. I didn't feel like I carried it in my face. And then I was like, can you believe I've lost? Because I weighed like 193. I was just telling you, I was like, can you believe I've lost over 20 pounds already? And you're like, yes. I was like, oh, okay.
Sorry, maybe that was a little bit harsh.
No, it was fine. I still don't see it. Like to me, if I was to take myself right now and myself when I was at 217, I feel like I look the exact same.
Yeah, I think that that's good. I don't know. I know, I remember you thinking our scale was broken. And I was like, okay, I mean, that's fine. And then it wasn't broken. Yeah, our scale led to me getting diagnosed with Hashimoto's because I was like, how in the world? It was right after my last marathon that I did, and I was running like 60 miles a week. Then I stepped on the scale and I was like, how have I gained 20 pounds? That's crazy. But
You gained 20?
mm-hmm.
Are you? Yeah, see, I don't feel like you look any different either.
Well, I haven't lost all 20 of the I haven't lost all 20 pounds that I gained.
You've also done a lot more weightlifting and your diet has improved heavily. So you're eating more food. So you put on muscle. I don't think you need to, there's no losing the weight, right?
Yeah,
You're
I
performing
probably
well. You look amazing.
thanks. So. No, I'm not like I feel like I'm not as concerned about like how much I weigh. It was more just like when I stepped on the scale and I weighed that much,
Yeah.
which was like significantly more than like normal. I was kind of like, oh, that's weird. And I wouldn't have thought anything of it other than like my pants were also really tight. And like I noticed I was really, really bloated like all the time.
And tired.
And tired. Yeah. I had like no energy, which again, like I attributed to like, oh, I just started medical school and I'm like training for a marathon. Like obviously I have no energy. But yeah, I feel like it made a lot more sense why I had like gained, which most of it was just water weight.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
But yeah, I wasn't as concerned about like, oh, I like gained this much weight. I'm concerned about like gaining the weight. I was more concerned of like, why did I gain so much weight this quickly? Like that's not super normal.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a jump scare getting on the scale and being at that point. But it came off quick, getting back down. Now I'm starting to level out where I'm losing weight, but I'm also hitting the gym pretty hard again. So I'm like, and I feel like I'm putting on muscle. So I'm kind of at that leveling out the scale right now when I get it on. I don't think I'll drop below 190. I don't want to drop below 190. I
Yeah,
just
well,
want to
you've been
keep
putting
putting
on a
on some
ton
more
of
muscle.
muscle.
I
Yeah.
need to. I was getting skinty. I was looking small, emaciated.
Okay, well, you weren't looking small. I feel like your version of looking small is like most people's version of like looking super jacked.
Well, I
So,
was looking smaller than what I'm used to looking. Because at least when I was heavier, I was like still carrying around mass. I was like, oh, I can still move weight if I need to, or I just have to like lose this. And then now I lost it, and I realized everything else was gone too. So I have to bring them both. I have to bring the fat down and the muscle back up, which is fine. It's fun. I'm having fun with it.
good.
Doing running. I'm doing my CrossFit. I'm coaching. I'm doing my fencing. Staying active. Staying moving, which
Yeah,
is
you've
good.
got a lot on your plate.
Yeah, it's fun. Well,
Yeah.
you are busy with medical school, so I have to entertain myself. I have to find things to do, which is good. I think that's good. Finding new hobbies like this and doing other things is good for me. We are almost to our year of marriage.
I know.
Thank you for listening to the Chase Merrill podcast. Just give me a quick 30 seconds, then right back to the episode. If you enjoy the show, it would be tremendously helpful if you could hit the follow button wherever you're listening, as well as leave a review. This helps the show grow, find new people, and get more guests. In return, I promise to continue working each day to improve the show. Thank you so much for trusting me with your time and your attention. Now back to the episode.
Do you feel like it's been a year? And do you feel, because historically from what I hear, like everyone's like first year marriage is the hardest. That's what I'm always told.
Yeah. I don't know. It's interesting because I feel like the first like 6 months went by a lot slower than these last 6 months have.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like I can't believe it's April of 2025. Like, I feel like it was Christmas like literally 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And so I feel like when we were like when we moved to Colorado, like and everything was so stressful and we had so much change that I feel like that went by a little bit more slowly. But yeah, these last like few months have absolutely flown by. I don't know. I feel like the first month or the first year of marriage, I feel like everybody has their like growing pains that you go through when you like merge your life with someone. I feel like we went through a lot of those when we moved in with each other though, before we got married.
Mm-hmm.
Like I feel like we had a little bit of like I guess stress like when we moved and like you started a new job and like I started medical school. But I don't feel like we had like the classic like oh the first year of marriage is the hardest.
Yeah. I mean, it hasn't been like hard. Like there have been things that have been hard, but it hasn't been hard. Like we've had our disagreements, we've had our fights, but that's expected, especially when you like take somebody who's hyper independent like myself and then throw me into where I have to remember to check in to do things and not just like, okay, this is what I'm going to do. I have to plan and incorporate my wife, like my other half. Like we have to do these things. And that was like a big shock for me. Like even if we were living together before, like we weren't married. So there was that slight sense of autonomy. Like, okay, I have my money over here. I can buy what I want. I can do what I want kind of. But now like everything's merged, bank accounts are merged, and we like talk about finances, and then it's like, oh, I can't just go buy this. Well, I can, like you'd be fine with it and you could go buy what you want to, but it's like, I also want to have that discussion because you're trying to build that cohesiveness. And it is that for me was the largest change where it's like, because I get something in my brain and I go do it. And then I don't tell anybody I do it. I'm doing it until after it's done. And then you're like, wait, what? What did you just do? And so I've had to talk through my decisions with you, which has been an interesting change for me, but a good one.
Yeah, I definitely think that the financial side of it has been like the biggest change for like the both of us. Because yeah, like in the past, it was like, oh, I'm gonna go get like a little treat from Crumble. And not that it's like, not that I was like hiding anything. Like
Yeah.
that wasn't the problem. It was just that it was like you're like on your own, like you have your own bank account, your own like um your own credit card. And so like you still very much felt like you were like independent in like that sense. That yeah, when we like merged everything, it was super like interesting getting used to being like, oh, this is like both of like our money and both of our like cards, and like just feeling like, oh, it's like not just me anymore, like it's both of us together.
Sure.
So that was the only thing that was like, I think kind of like, oh, that's new.
But like on the financial side, like we have, like we're fortunate enough to like have like enough money to where like we don't have to think about what we're buying in terms of like we just don't have to really think about it outside of like large purchases and stuff. Like, but we just have financial goals that we're working towards. And so when it's like, oh, I'm just going to go get this coffee, or I'm just going to go get this protein or whatever it is, like you don't think it adds up. And then we have everything linked and we have this app that we just track all our finances. And then at the end of the month, you're like, oh, that added up. Like that's a lot. And so, and then when you have that goal that's written down and all these categories that are getting tracked and it just pings you, hey, you went over, it's a little bit more accountable, and it makes you realize certain habits that you may or may have not, you may or may not have had, like just spending on the small stuff that actually tracks and keeps up.
For me, it was like the $20 purchases that
Yeah,
like
you made
I
a lot of
noticed
those.
were like,
You
well, because
made
it's
so
like
much.
I feel like when you I feel like when you think about it, it's like, oh, it's like literally just $20. Like it's
Yeah.
not that much. Like objectively, when you think about $20, you're like, oh, that's like nothing. Like that's like not that much money. And then when you make like $30, $20 purchases, it's a lot of money.
Yes.
And so that was like, I think that that was like kind of my like little area that it was like the $20 purchases for me like really added up.
Yeah, mine's the one big one. Like I don't buy anything, then I'm like, oh, I want that. And it's like $1,000, $2,000 or whatever.
Like our TV.
Yeah, exactly. Or the sauna.
Yeah, the sauna. Well, that's not even a $1,000 purchase.
It's worth it. It's worth it.
It would be worth it. I'm down to
Yeah.
get a sauna.
Yeah, that'll be fun. But other than that, marriage has been, it's been good. Like there are things that I'm not happy with in terms of myself, like as a husband. Like I have things that I want to work on and still improve, and like every day I'm like, "Ah, I screwed that up, or I should have done better there, or something like that." And so, but all in all, I'm happy with how we've grown together and how we've like matured together. I mean, particularly like you had to deal with me probably at the worst stage. Like I left
When we first
CrossFit.
met.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you met me when we first competing. I was like so done with CrossFit. I was so stressed. Like I had ulcers. I had like my sores in my mouth. I was just so done with it. And then immediately after I quit, and then I had no purpose. Like I had nothing. So you went me from extreme stress to like nothing. And I was just like wandering about, and like I had no goals, nothing I was trying to work towards. So much of my day was spent on training that I didn't want any part of the gym at that point. And so I didn't really know what I was doing. And I think there's a quote that I think about that I heard recently that I think about a lot. And it's like, I think it's general ambition leads to anxiety. Focused ambition leads to purpose. So like if you're ambitious, you have goals, but you don't like, or you have aspirations or things you want to work towards, but you have no focus on that, it's just anxiety. Like, oh, I'm not doing enough. I don't know what to do. Like, I'm just being lazy. And you have this constant state of anxiety versus if you can take that ambition and channel it towards an actual goal, you then have purpose. It's like, okay, I can focus. I can do this. I can work towards that goal through whatever that may be. And I had that ambition. I just didn't have a purpose. I had nowhere to channel it. And it just led to a constant state of anxiety, of stress, of just laziness. And so you definitely dealt with me at my worst part, which was amazing, which was, kudos to you. Thanks for sticking around. But I feel like since then I've able to pull myself out. I'm able to find that purpose. I'm able to find that focus, which isn't necessarily on an external goal. Like, sure, there are things that I'm working on, but it's more on internal goal, like the purpose of self, like finding my values, finding my identity, finding my core beliefs, whatever that may be, and trying to focus and work towards that as an individual, which has been good.
Yeah, I think I feel like you and I have been on a journey together.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's like, I feel like maybe more so than like other people. Like, I feel like we've gone through a lot of really hard things together, like as a couple. Like, and it was really like, I feel like during most people's like honeymoon phase, like I don't feel like we ever really truly got a honeymoon phase, because when we first met, you were doing CrossFit and like struggling to do I feel like
I was unhappy.
Very unhappy. I was like studying for the MCAT, like applying for med school. Like I feel like we both like independently had a lot of really stressful things happening in our lives when we first started dating. That it's like I feel like we, between that and between like you leaving CrossFit, me not getting into medical school my first go around, and like figuring out like how our lives like look together and like our future, like I feel like we went through a lot of things together that a lot of other couples probably didn't experience that early on in their relationship, which is good because I think like we figured out really early on, like, okay, this is somebody who I've like seen them handle something stressful, I've seen them handle like things when it's not ideal, and like we can work through it together, and this is somebody that like I like want to like build a future with, not somebody who's going to like totally crumble when things get hard. But yeah, I was talking to somebody recently about like when we first met and you were doing CrossFit, and I like described it as I feel like your body was physically rejecting CrossFit between like all of your sickness and like things like that. Like I think that your body just started rejecting it.
Yeah, I was pretty beat up. Couldn't eat food, was throwing up, was like sores in my mouth, just like sores everywhere. Like my hair was falling out. I was so stressed. My shoulders were hurt, and I was just not I just wasn't having fun anymore. And the unfortunate.
Go ahead.
And I was just gonna say, like, the unfortunate thing is, like, so many friendships suffered at that time because I was just miserable, and I was envious of the people that I was training with because they were just so happy to be there, and so having so much fun just working out, and I was miserable. So I was making everybody else miserable with me, which is really unfortunate because those people, all the people I trained with, are amazing people. Like, they're the best, and I just feel really bad because they had to deal with me as a miserable human, and which is really unfortunate because I really appreciate all the stuff that they did for me.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's okay to like also hold like a little bit of grace for yourself too, like, because I feel like you are the hardest person on yourself of like anybody. Like nobody's harder on you than you are. And like that translates into every aspect of your life. It translates into like how you trained and like how you viewed, just how you view everything in the world. And so I think for you, you were like stuck between being really hard on yourself because you didn't enjoy CrossFit anymore, but also being really hard on yourself because you knew that you had these goals and like getting to semifinals and competing and everything. And those were like sort of in conflict with each other. Mm-hmm. And I think you probably handled that situation the best that you could. And I think everybody realizes that.
I mean, looking back, like, I even now, like, just like competing in CrossFit, like, I never actually enjoyed it. Like, I enjoy CrossFit. It's fun. I coach CrossFit now. I go 5 days a week, I have fun. I like CrossFit. What I didn't like was taking something that I enjoyed and then trying to make it my job. So I was then having fun training, 90 minutes a day. Now I'm training 6 hours a day and I'm not having fun. It's not enjoyable for me anymore. And so like that goal of getting to semifinals, what made it even worse is like, I didn't even care about the goals. Like, okay, this is just what I have to do next. This is just the next step. So I didn't actually want to be there. I just thought I had to be there or had to do it because like that was, what else was I gonna do? And so that made it even more miserable.
At what point do you feel like it shifted from like you like genuinely loving CrossFit and like wanting to go as far as you could in the sport to like sort of the resentment towards CrossFit? Or not necessarily, you still enjoy CrossFit, but like maybe the resentment towards competing.
I think it honestly happened pretty early on. Like I went through years of being miserable, but I just attributed that to the actual training. Like, oh, it's not supposed to be fun, which it's not. There's going to be hard days, just like anything else. If you're good at what you do, there's going to be suffering because you want to be good at it. But I was always miserable. Like I did not look forward to any part of it, really. But I just didn't know what else to do. Like I said, I had ambition but no purpose, and so I just didn't know what else to do. So I just put it all into that. And the unfortunate thing is, it was like it didn't make me happy. So I was unhappy with my training. I was unhappy with my goal. I was unhappy with just everything that I was doing, which led to me being just miserable and lashing out at a lot of people in terms of just like, hey, you all have to be miserable with me. The gym's not fun. And so, which is really unfortunate because a lot of amazing people stuck around and went through it, and they're really fit. And I think they got fitter. I may have been unhappy, but the training was definitely still there. So we got fitter. But yeah, there was a pretty early on where I was like, nah, I don't have fun doing this anymore.
It's so crazy to me that like, because the one thing about you is you are an extremely like dedicated person. Like I feel like you have like the ability to push through like a lot of things. And so it's crazy to me like I got like a small glimpse of what you would put yourself through when I'd go and like run with you on your Saturday sessions, but like to know that for such a long time like you didn't even enjoy that. Because I like when we first started dating, I always thought like, oh, this is crazy, but he loves it. And so like it's not that crazy if you're doing something you love, but it's like to know that you didn't even love it, like you weren't having fun and you weren't looking forward to it, and you still did like all of the things that you did, to me is like absolutely mind-blowing.
Yeah. Like in the back of your head, you're just like, well, I'm already here. Like I don't want it to be for a waste. So like you just have to keep going and keep going. And then at one point you're just like, okay, you gotta stop. Like you're miserable. Like something's gonna break here. And so I stopped, and then I did nothing. Like I just took time out of the gym. And then now I feel like there's so much more enjoyment to my life, to the things that I do. Like everything I do, I wake up, I'm happy, I'm excited to go do the things that I do. And it's really interesting. Like I said, I got a new job. You have medical school. You're fortunate enough to have your medical school paid for and get stipend. So you make money, and then I make money as well. And we make more. Like if we were to just like rent an apartment, we would easily live below our income in terms of money would just stack up. Even if we just bought what we wanted to buy. And like once you have that money anxiety taken away, like you can just kind of, I realized, okay, like you're always kind of trying to chase that next thing. It's like, okay, I'm going to suffer now and then I'll be happy. I'm going to suffer now and then I'll be happy. And it's like, whether that be towards whatever that is. And if you get to the point where it's like, all my basic necessities are covered, eat like food, activities, housing, cars, everything's covered. Like, what would I be doing? Like, what would I? And then I realized like, okay, well, I'd go work out. Like that's what I like to do. That I'm doing that anyway. I'd eat the way I'm eating already. Like I like what I'm eating. I like the job that I'm doing. I like the hobbies that I'm doing. Like, why am I suffering now to be happy later? Like, why am I giving up what I already have to try and get what I already have down the line? And so just trying to find that happiness with where I'm at has been my biggest goal and my biggest focus for a recent amount of time, because like life's good. Like I have an amazing wife. I'm my best friend. We see each other every day. We spend a lot of time with each other. I get to have all these hobbies. I get to do all the food that I eat, all the food I want to eat. Like there's nothing else I would want to be doing. Like maybe I'd go do it in a different state or something, like next to like a jungle or the ocean. But other than that, like I'd be doing everything that I'm doing already. So
Yeah, I think it's been fun watching you like sort of shift your mindset from like, oh, we have to like, or all the time it has to be a grind, to like, I feel like you've been a lot more intentional with like enjoying life as it is.
yeah.
And like, you've become a lot more flexible recently.
I am always flexible. I am go with the flow.
You've never been go with the flow. You are so many amazing things. I just don't know that go with the flow like makes maybe the top 10 amazing qualities that I would use to describe you.
So go with the flow.
Speaking of go with the flow, at what point do you think you could sign up for a race with me and not absolutely beat yourself into the ground training for it?
Not for a while. Not for a while. Because I don't want to just run a race to run a race. Like it's gonna be uncomfortable either way. Like running a marathon is not an easy task. There's gonna be discomfort. So it's like at that point, like if I just run the race, I'm gonna be 80% uncomfortable anyway. If I just put time and effort into training, sure, I'll be like 95% uncomfortable, but that's only 15% more uncomfortable. So I might as well try and do good.
But you're so go with the flow.
That is that has nothing to do with go with the flow. Like if somebody was like, hey Chase, like I'm doing a marathon tomorrow, like that's a different thing. Cause like I'd be like, okay, cool, I'll run, I'll walk, whatever, I'll just get it done. But that's not how it'd be. We would plan the race out like a few months. And so then I would subconsciously start having to train.
Yeah.
That's not go with the flow. That is go with the flow because you're the one making us sign up for the race.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Fine, you got me there.
Yeah. But another thing with marriage, something that I've been trying to work on is you're in medical school. But my problem with that is that you make it look so easy that I forget you're in medical school. Like I swear, it looks so easy. Like you are the hardest worker I know. You wake up, you train for your race, you eat your food. Sometimes I have to give you a little prompting there, but you eat, like you prep your food, you plan to eat, you train, you stretch, you study all the time studying. Like you're the hardest worker I know. So like when I wake up and I don't want to do something, I'm like, well, Maddie's out there doing this. I got to get up and pull my weight. So you are the hardest worker I know in that aspect. But the problem is you make it look easy. So I'm like, you have like you're studying and you take your tests and you always do so well in your tests and you always make time for us in the relationship that I forget that medical school is hard or supposed to be hard because of how easy you make it look. And so that's something that I kind of find myself catching. I'm like, oh, like, Maddie didn't fold the laundry right now. Like that's my big thing. Like I hate folding laundry. And so I always harp on you fold the laundry. But then like, yeah, why would she fold the laundry? She's got a big test tomorrow. Like she's got to study. And then, but I always forget that you have to do that because how easy you make it look. So that's something I'm trying to work on and remember is like, just because she makes it look easy doesn't mean it's hard, or doesn't mean it is easy. It is a difficult thing that she's doing, and you do the things that you're going to do, let her study, let her prioritize that, and do the things that she needs to do there.
To be fair, I feel like part of the reason that it has been, not that it's been easy, I've definitely put a lot of work into medical school, but I think part of the reason that it's been so manageable is like having a partner in medical school, and like, not that like all of the duties get immediately delegated to you, but like not having like the load of like thinking, what am I going, like I feel like I have a partner who is willing to make me food sometimes when I've like got a really stressful day. And there's been countless amount of meals that like you've made me that I haven't had to take time out of my day to like make. I can't count the amount of times that you've like done the grocery shopping for the week, or just like all of these like miscellaneous things that take up so much time that like if I was on my own, I would be spending time like doing that there's so much that you've been able to like take off of my plate that it has made medical school like a lot more manageable. And so I think that like everything that you've like contributed to like helping to support me has been super invaluable to like helping to like giving me more time to study and just focus on school, which I've been super appreciative of. And I'm working on vocalizing that appreciation a lot more, because I feel like something I struggle with is like I feel so appreciative, but I forget that like unless I vocalize that and like point it out, you don't necessarily know that I feel very appreciative. And so that's something that like I didn't realize I struggled with until like you pointed out, hey, like, you know, you could say like thank you after I make you dinner. And I'm like, well, obviously like I'm thankful, obviously like I'm happy that like you made me dinner, like that like was such a big help to me, like I'm so stressed about studying, but then obviously you didn't know that I was like happy and glad that like you made me like a meal and like taken that off my plate because I didn't tell you that. And so yeah, that's something that I didn't know that I struggled with until we lived together.
Well, I mean, it's fine. Like I like you said, obviously I know you're thankful, and you do. And when I do these things for you, like I know you're thankful, so it's not a huge deal. But like you said, like we're just working on no longer being individuals, and like, or being individuals, but also being a couple, and trying to blend that. So we're just figuring out our communication styles. Like they are different. Like I'm like you sometimes you express things a lot more not verbally, like you don't always voice them, like you're very like you come up and you give me hugs and you do all those things. And then for me, I'm like verbal, like I tell you kind of how I feel or what I'm thinking in that aspect. But outside of that, like unless it directly involves you, like I'm very bad at voicing what's going on. Like I'm just figuring it out and handling it in my own head. So we're just trying to figure out that communication style, which I would say we've already drastically improved from when we first were married. Yeah.
Yeah, like definitely from when we first like got married. Like I think over the course of our like 9-month, 10-month marriage, we've grown a lot in communication. But definitely, I think both you and I are completely different individuals from when we first met each other.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think the growth that you and I have had together has been crazy. Like, thinking back to who I like was before I met you, and I guess I don't really know who you were before you met me, but I know who you were right when we first met. And I feel like you've changed a lot since we first met.
Yeah, I definitely think we both have changed. Yeah, you used to eat garbage. What is up with that McDonald's order
It's so
every
good.
other week or every other day? Jeez.
It's so good. Listen, I
don't think you've had McDonald's once since we've been together.
I haven't.
Yeah.
And I will say, I would still get McDonald's.
Yeah, and I
Not
think
as
that's fine.
often as
Yeah.
I used to,
Yeah.
but it's like so good. I don't know how to explain it to you.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think it's very good, but I don't think there's anything wrong with people occasionally getting McDonald's. So if people are listening to this, be like, they are bashing McDonald's. Like, yeah, probably don't eat it every day, but if that's what you like and you follow the 80-20 rule, maybe you get McDonald's once in a while. But
Okay, but
like
when's the last time you had McDonald's?
15, 20 years.
Like, how do you know what you don't know? Like, if you haven't tried a McGriddle in 15 years,
Yeah.
maybe you try it and you're like, okay, I get why people order this. It's kind of good, especially like when you're like just really feeling something greasy. And I don't know.
I mean, I'm sure it is. I'm sure it is good to people. Like, I don't think people would order things that they don't think are good, but I don't think like it wouldn't be good to me. Like, I enjoy more quality, more different food of that nature, and it wouldn't be good to me. Like if I wanted to get a burger and I had to have like a fast food burger, why would I get McDonald's when I can just go to In-N-Out and I know it's going to be a better burger? Like, I'm going to enjoy it better. So there's no situation where I'd be like, okay, let me get over to McDonald's because that's what I want.
Yeah, I think that, to be fair, I really only went to McDonald's for their breakfast. Like, I loved McDonald's breakfast. I wouldn't go to McDonald's to get a burger. Like, if I was getting a
Yeah.
burger, I'd go to In-N-Out.
For sure.
Because it's like probably literally the same price and it tastes better.
Mhm. Yeah.
But yeah,
I
just
mean-
McDonald's breakfast. I love McDonald's breakfast.
The point was, though, like, we've rubbed off on each other. Like, you've picked up a ton of my habits, maybe habits you may not have initially wanted, but like you're very conscious of what you eat now. You're very conscious of your sleep, um, because I'm very conscious of those things, and they kind of rub off onto your partner. Just like you've rubbed off, I'm a lot more considerate in terms of like how of how my action. Now, I don't want to say like I was never inconsiderate of people before, but like I'm more willing to be like, hey, if I'm uncomfortable right now, or if this isn't the best situation, if it makes other people happy, like let me do that anyway. Versus like when I was in that situation when I was training for CrossFit, it was like I need to do what's best for me all the time, always, because like that's just what you have to do for training. Like your sleep, your food, you have to say no to so many things. And so just like being back in that situation where you are, it's like it's okay if these things suffer a little bit because it's more important to make other people happy. And so just like developing that consideration was something that I had grown out of practice with, because you have to, like when you're a competitive athlete or if you're training to be the best at a sport, like you have to do certain things.
Yeah. Yeah, I also think that it's like once you stopped doing CrossFit, you had like a lot more room to like I feel like you gave all of your energy to CrossFit because you had to, like that's what your training like required. And so like there wasn't like a ton of extra like mental, physical, emotional energy for you to be like socializing with people or like doing like just doing anything else. So I feel like once that you had that off of your plate, there was like a lot more opportunity for you to be like, oh, like I can go and do this with someone, even if it's not necessarily like what I want to be doing, like, but I have the energy now to like do that.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah. Energy is something that drains every day, and you need to be focused on it. And that's why I color organize my clothes, so I can just grab them in certain color combos so I don't have to think about it. I don't care what's on it. My dream scenario is to get rid of my entire closet and just have black shirts and jeans and workout clothes that are all black, and just wear the same thing every day. Just so I don't have to waste the energy on it. Because yeah, you're exactly right. If you focus on something, you just have a limited amount of energy to spend on things, so you need to spend them on things that you care about. And the more you can eliminate small energy things, like what you're going to eat, what you're going to wear, where you have to be, as much as you can like outsource that or make it as easy to choose as possible, the more energy you have to spend on other things. And then if you just naturally make a big cut on something else, like training, you're just going to have a lot more abundance of energy, which has been good.
Yeah. It's interesting, like the things that like bring you energy versus the things that like drain your energy. Like for me, getting ready in the morning and like picking out my outfit, like that's not a drain on my energy. Like that is like, I love like picking out my outfit and like
Yeah.
what's gonna like look cute together, and like that's always been something that like I really like look forward to. And so I would like hate for my
Yeah.
closet to like only have like one option. That would be like, that would never happen. That will never happen. But
And that's fine. I mean, that's a good point too. Yeah, exactly. You need to find what works best for you. Like, I would think it would be black and white. Like everybody would benefit from having less options, but you're exactly right. If it makes you happy, if that's something that you enjoy, maybe it's not an energy drain. Maybe it does actually give you some energy and make you more excited. So yeah, that's a really good point too. In
yeah, I
terms
think,
of,
oh, sorry.
go ahead. No, go
I
ahead.
was just gonna say, I think like another example of that is like both you and I think get pretty drained when we go out to like social events and like in big groups, like med school prom. As much
Yeah.
fun as we had at med school prom, which we
It
did,
would
like
have been more
had fun.
if they gave us more of the museum.
Yes, that would have been awesome.
Yeah.
But like it's fun to like get dressed up and go
Yeah.
out. But at
Mhm.
the end of the day, like I think for both of us, that's more of a social drain than it is like
Yeah.
filling our cup socially. Like I think that at the end of the night, we were like glad to like come home and like just relax and
Yeah.
like just be in a quiet environment. Where some people are like, oh, that like energizes me to go out and like be in a big group of people. So it's just like everybody has different preferences.
Mhm. Yeah. In terms of how we communicate in our marriage, we definitely have made a lot of progress. We still have more progress to go. Sometimes we get into conflicts and we forget that we're trying to beat the problem and not beat the other person. Like I'm a big, uh, big, I do that. That's something I suffer from, is like I try to win. Something you suffer from that people wouldn't know is that you are also very competitive and try to win and refuse to hear any kind of reason or logic at the point of conflict. You're just over your head. And it's so frustrating because I'll be like, are you kidding me? Like, do you see this? Like, I will record the scenario and play it back for you and be like, no, never happened. and then like after like 10 minutes when you're like calm down, you'll be like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. So we definitely still have our issues when it comes to that communication, but we're like we were saying before, we're getting way better.
I think unfortunately, because you know how everybody says like, oh, like some people like to address problems head on, and some people like to like take a little bit of a break and then like cool off and then come back and like finish the discussion. I think my problem is that I'm somebody who I'm like, no, we need to talk right now. We need to figure this out right now because I can't think about anything else until we figure this out right now. But you're also super right that like I would benefit heavily from just cooling off for like 10 minutes.
I know.
And then like having a conversation in 10 minutes. But I can never let myself do that. And after every fight, I always think like I should just cool off for 10 minutes and then have a discussion. And that would be like that would like save us so much like hassle.
Yeah.
And every time it rolls around and I have an opportunity to take a 10-minute break, I'm like, no, we have to figure this out now.
I mean, it's so true. But like the problem is like once you get into that tempers flare, you're kind of ready to go. You're ready to throw down or whatever it is. You're kind of heated up. And then the other person, like I remember the things that you need to do, and you remember the things I need to do. And then we point them out and I'm like, I don't want to hear it. I don't care. Yeah. And so it's just getting that level-headedness, that kind of just like, okay, it's fine. Like, yeah, I got to remember, like, this is my partner. Just my wife, like, she matters more, like, than winning or than the problem that we're having right now. Like, let's just get through the problem, because in 10 minutes, nobody's going to even remember what we're fighting about or what the issue is. So let's just get through it. And that's something we both need to work on, but we're getting better at it. And like I said, marriage, that first year of marriage is not, I mean, for us, like, I wouldn't, if somebody said, like, rate your marriage on a scale from like easy to hard, I would not say it was hard. I would say there were hard moments. Like, there have been fights and there have been things that have hard, but like overall, vastly good, like vastly enjoyable, vastly good. And so we just got to continue working on the things we got to work on, and communicating. But I think that's just going to naturally grow with time. Like, we've spent way more of our life apart than we have together, so you can only expect it to grow together and improve.
Yeah, I think definitely by far, like, I would say our marriage has been like, it's been really easy being with you and being married to you. Like, marriage itself has not been hard. We've had like hard moments, but like life has hard moments. So I think that that's super accurate, that like I don't think we've had like an abnormal amount of hard moments or like hard things that we've had to go through, especially given how much our life changed in the last like year. I think that everything that we've gone through has been super like to be expected. But yeah, marriage hasn't been hard. Our marriage has been actually, like, being married to you is really easy. I think something really helpful that we need to keep doing was the one thing I did wrong and one thing you did right. Because I think that that really helps ground me and like remembering like this is somebody that like I love and care about.
Yeah.
And like really helps cool me off.
Just to explain, like, what she's talking about is like, typically when you're doing a fight, you're like, whenever you're fighting with somebody, you're like telling them all the things that they did wrong and like all the things that you did right. And so just trying to reverse that premise, instead of like telling them the things that you did wrong, you need to just like take a step back, say something you did wrong in that moment and something they did right. And it just kind of breaks the tension, and that totally shifts. Because like, if you're focusing on what you did wrong and what they did right, it just kind of completely cools you off, completely just makes you realize like, hey, it's not a big deal. Like, they weren't intending to do something to upset me, and I hope they know I wasn't intending. Like if it's somebody you love, like your wife, your partner, like, obviously I'm not trying to hurt them, and I don't think Maddie would ever try to hurt me. So 100% of the time, like, our fights are just misinterpretations, miscommunications, just stressful days and things that happen and lash out on each other. And so it's just like refocusing and remembering, like, so you're not perfect. Like, you did something wrong too.
Yeah. I also think that it's like, at least for me, I feel like my head starts to spiral when I start thinking like, oh, I'm upset at Chase for this and this. And then it's like, I feel like my mind starts like, you like only can focus on like the things that you're upset about. Mm-hmm. And like, then you start only thinking like, oh, these are the things that Chase has done that makes me upset. And that's like all I can focus on. And so doing that, like, oh, here's the things that Chase like did right. And here's the things that like I didn't do like my best in, helps me sort of like get out of that spiral and be like, oh, Chase does a lot of really wonderful things too. And just, yeah, it helps kind of break up that spiral a little bit for me.
Yeah, same. Yep. Definitely something we should bring back in. Kind of difficult. We're always it's like you said, it's been busy year, getting married, moving out here, busy, or last year, and then busy this year too at the start. Like, it's been busy. Always been moving and grooving around. So definitely just always continuing to work, continuing to improve. And I think the important thing is just to remember that your spouse doesn't have bad intentions. Like, it's so easy to be like, they tried, like, I can't believe they did this. But like, if you like rationally like reflect, like, I don't think, Maddie, you would do anything to hurt me. So it's like, why am I freaking out? Like, obviously I misinterpreted something, like what's going on? And just remembering that your partner is actually there to build you up and to be a part of your team is something that I always have to try and refocus, and that I know you need to try and refocus on as well. It's just because it's easy to lose sight of it. It's easy, like when you're upset.
Yeah, especially because both you and I we're both a little bit hard-headed, I think.
Yeah, for sure.
And I do think it's pretty accurate that both of us, like, definitely during fights are trying to win the fight. I think it's something we're both guilty of. And I think we've been doing better at that, though. Like, I think we've been making a lot of progress and, like, realizing that nobody's winning any fights. Like, we're both walking out of fights feeling pretty bad and that it's just not worth it.
Yeah.
But
yeah, absolutely.
We'll keep
It's been
getting
fun.
better.
Yeah, it's been fun to improve it at those things, because it is important. I don't think, obviously, there's going to be fights, but our ability to communicate is just going to be, and our ability to improve our communication is huge. That's something we got to keep working on, and I'm very happy with how it's been and how we are at it. I just can't wait to get even better. So
yeah, I think we've made a lot of progress in our communication with each other. We've both put in a lot of work.
Yeah, and it's been good. It's been fun. Well, how did you feel speaking to a camera and speaking?
I've just been looking at you the whole time, and so I just feel like I've been like gabbing with you.
Has it been fun?
Yeah.
I need to get better at gabbing with you like this, not on this podcast setting, because I am very good at speaking to people I don't know, and then as soon as I know somebody intimately, family members, your family members, you, it's like it's harder for me. I'm like, oh, whoa, they know me. They will see me every day. I gotta keep the distance there. Not that I keep you at a distance. It's just like some things I'm not as open as other people are.
Yeah. That's also, I feel like, been another like growing point for you and I, because you are a hyper private person.
I am.
And I'm an open book.
Yeah.
And like my whole family is an open book. And so like you and I like figuring out boundaries in terms of like the things that we like communicate to others versus the things that we keep just between like you and I. Like that was definitely like a source of like, oh wait, we don't just tell everybody everything. And you were like, what?
Yeah, definitely hyper private person. I like to keep things in my life, and again, that's something I've been working on, trying to open up, because it's fine to have people involved and let them know like they care about you. They just want to be part of your life. And so just letting down those walls and letting people in has been something I've been working on too.
Yeah. I think that you've grown a lot in that area. Like, I know that, like, I think that you have an amazing relationship, like, with my whole family. Like, I think that my whole family loves you and feels close to you, feels like they could talk to you about anything, anytime. And so I mean, I feel like I've seen a lot of growth from you.
For sure. I love your whole family. They're besties. Sometimes I get a little nervous that I'm too competitive or like too intense, and I have to like tone everything way back, because like you have got all sisters like and your mom, and so it's just like your dad there, and then I grew up with a very more intense family and very more competitive. I would argue, and so I just have to like, I'm always like trying to feel like I have to like, whoa, hey, can't be too competitive. And I know I can actually be myself and just like have fun with them, because like I know they care about me and they love me, but it's just like taking, because like they're my family. Like I look at your family like my family is an extension of my family, and so it's hard to treat certain members a little bit differently, be based off of different personalities. And so something I'm conscious of, although I probably don't need to be.
I feel like that's so interesting, because when I'm around your family, I get like nervous to like participate in like sports, or like when we're playing like frisbee golf or like spike ball or like what have, like I get so nervous to like participate because I know everyone in your family is so competitive that I'm upset people are going to get upset at me for like not being good at like sports. And so it's like so interesting for me. Like I'm nervous that like I'm going to like let people down and people are going to be upset at me because I'm not competitive enough. And you're nervous that like you're going to be too competitive and like hurt people's feelings.
Yeah.
We have like the opposite issues with
yeah.
each other's families.
That is funny. But like, I mean, nobody's actually ever cared on either scenario. Like
Yeah.
we're just there to have fun. And you are competitive. Like you were very competitive. Like we won Frisbee golf
We
the
did
last
win
time.
Frisbee golf.
He clutched it up on the tiebreaker, which was
That
nice.
was crazy. I still can't believe that happened.
Well, how do you feel you did just gabbing? I think you did great.
I think I did fine.
You did fantastic.
I feel like gabbing is like one of my like talents. So.
Talking, just gabbing.
Yeah.
Well, Maddie, let me rephrase this. I'm just gonna do it like everybody else. We have a tradition on this podcast where I ask the guests who they would most like to hear or see on this podcast, assuming they're alive and well. Who would that person be for you?
See, the problem is that I knew that you like I've listened to all of your episodes. I should have prepared for this moment and I didn't. Okay. Somebody oh wait, they have to be alive and well?
How could I talk to them?
Right. Okay, that was really tough. Okay, somebody who's alive and well that you could talk to has to be alive in order for you to talk to them. Since the last few guests have done like sports themed, I feel like Caitlin Clark would be cool. Eventually down the road. Actually, I don't know how many. Caitlin Clark probably has like at least millions of followers on Instagram.
Yeah, she should.
But maybe in the time being, like eventually Caitlin Clark. For the time being, see, I was just gonna say Taylor Frankie Paul, but that's same difference.
Who is Taylor Frankie Paul?
Mormon Mom Talk.
Oh, that's right. Jeez. I don't even know.
Yeah, I'm gonna stick with Caitlin Clark.
Not Taylor Frankie Paul.
Not Taylor Frankie Paul.
Well, good job, Mads. This was fun.
Thanks. Yeah,
we'll have to have you on again.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun.
Yeah, I would never have thought this is something that you would want to do, but I'm glad you did it. I had a lot of fun.
Yeah, I thought, I don't know, I just feel like I'm like having a conversation with you. I think that it's like, I think it's seeing people in front of me when I'm talking that really freaks me out.
No,
but this didn't freak me out.
Good. Just practicing, just talking.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you're in the living room. I'm in the office, so I will see you in 2 seconds.
All right. See you in 2 seconds.
Thank you for listening to the Chase Merrill podcast.